There are growing numbers of people in the world today who sense that great change is coming, and more than this, they have begun to respond to messages from knowledge, the deeper intelligence within them telling them to do certain things, to make certain adjustments or changes in their life, and to take certain forms of action. Yet so many of these people have been unable to respond. They feel the warning of the message, or perhaps they see the signs, but they are not moved to act. They recognize the need. They recognize a possible danger. But they have not responded. They have not taken any action regarding it. This represents two problems. The first is that knowledge is not yet strong enough within the individual to move them. Knowledge is actually strong enough, but they do not have a strong enough connection to it to feel the urgency in the movement within themselves. It is like a distant voice, or a passing image, or a fleeting emotion, as if knowledge were communicating to them, but from far away, through a great, thick wall. Knowledge is powerful within them, but they are not yet able to respond to it. So this inability to respond, or this irresponsibility, you could say, is a fundamental problem. That is why in the study of steps to knowledge, there is a process of building a bridge from your thinking mind, from your intellect, which has been so formulated through social conditioning and past experience, to the deeper mind of knowledge that God has created, that is beyond the reach of social conditioning, that cannot be manipulated or altered by any worldly or otherworldly force. Building this bridge is very important because many people will see the signs, feel the signs within themselves, see the signs within the world, but they will not respond. They may shake their heads and say, "Oh, well, this is concerning." They may tell their friends, "Oh, I had a thought today that was worrying me," or "I see something happening in the world, and it could be very difficult." They are responding, but not at the level of action. These signs are arousing concern. They are arousing suspicion. They are alerting the individual, but the individual cannot yet really respond. So while these signs are being recognized, the person just continues doing what they always do, carrying on their daily life as if nothing has happened. Yes, there's a growing concern. Yes, they sense that great change and difficulty are approaching. Yes, they may be aware of certain specific areas where difficulties are already arising. But they are not responding in a way that will move their lives. Signs are not given to you just for your edification, just for your entertainment, just to arouse alarm or concern. They are given to instruct you and in many cases to move you to certain kinds of action. But you must feel these messages. They cannot be distant little images or fleeting emotions or passing thoughts. You must engage with them more powerfully in order to receive the instruction that they contain. The world itself will tell you what is coming if you know how to read it and to discern its signs and its messages. You do this without projecting any of your own thoughts or fantasies or fears. You just watch and you listen, and piece by piece, the picture comes together. But to have this clarity of mind, you must be watching without coming to conclusions, without trying to tie things together, without trying to make things simple and comprehensible. Instead, like building a puzzle, you allow the pieces to emerge and to fit together. This is called seeing. Most people do not see because they do not look with this emphasis. Impatient, they want conclusions. They want solutions. They want answers. They want to understand it right now. They want the picture to be evident right now, evident and comprehensible. They do not patiently wait and watch for the signs to tell them, allowing the picture to become clear, without their interference. This is called seeing. It is the same with hearing. You hear certain things, but instead of drawing conclusions or having these things reinforce your current assumptions and beliefs, you let them simply reside in your mind building. Let them instruct you instead of trying to use them to fortify your own ideas or position. All this requires humility, of course, and the willingness and the commitment to set aside assumptions, prejudices, preconceived ideas and so forth. To see and to hear truly, you must have this approach. But you must look earnestly, and you must listen earnestly. You must commit yourself to seeing and to hearing. It is not a casual pursuit you do once in a while. It is not something you do periodically, just to have a look or have a listen. It is what the animals do. They are always looking and listening, for there is danger, and they are equipped to respond to it, or they could not survive. For all of humanity now there is growing danger, and nature has equipped you to respond to it, and you need to respond to it in order to survive. Yet people are not looking and are not listening. They go about their affairs without looking over the horizon, without listening to the signs of the world. And if they hear something, they will dismiss it, or discuss it with their friends, or use it to reinforce some attitude or judgment they have against someone else, and the message would be lost on them. They will not be able to receive the instruction, which will give them an indication of something they must do. If people see and hear, but do not take action, then they have not really seen. They have not really heard. It has not passed beyond the intellect to reach deeper within them. They are not really responding, and so they are not really being responsible. To prepare for the great waves of change, you will have to take many actions. Some of them will seem very illogical in the moment. You will not be able to justify them or explain them to others. But you must take them anyway because knowledge within you, the deeper intelligence within you, is urging you. You can respond to this if your connection to knowledge is becoming stronger. Now it is no longer a still small voice or a fleeting image or a moment of recognition. It is now something that is emerging within you as a deeper conviction, as an abiding concern or need. No longer can you ignore it, deny it or push it away so easily, for it is now competing for your attention. To begin, you must learn to become still and observant, looking without judging, looking without coming to conclusions, looking for signs. The signs are not everywhere, but they are abundant enough that if you are observant and give yourself to being observant as you pass through your day, then you will begin to see things, and they will stand out from everything else. They will stand out. They will impress you more than just the usual kinds of fascinating things or disturbing things you may hear about or read about. They will impress you at a deeper level. Pay attention. Write them down. Keep a record of them with a date and a time and a place so you can begin to bring the pieces of the puzzle together. You should be looking more and thinking less, listening more and speaking less, observing others without condemnation or judgment, setting aside your habits of judgment and evaluation in order to listen. Remember, the birds in the air and the animals in the field are always listening and watching. They must pay attention. Humanity, which for so long has been involved in its great indulgences, its great conflicts, its great obsessions and addictions, must now listen and look and pay attention without trying to falsely fortify itself and without trying to cast gloom and fear over everything. Now it is time to listen, to pay attention. It is a strange thing that the creature who is the most intelligent in the world, the human being, is functioning and acting in the least intelligent way. Therefore, God must give a great warning. And the warning must be given with compassion, but with clarity and strength, because people are in the habit of not looking, and not listening, and not paying attention. They do not know how to discern the signs of the world or the signs from knowledge within themselves. And they are not close enough to knowledge within themselves to feel the movement of knowledge within them, knowledge moving them to do something, to take action or to alter their activities in some specific way. People think that to prepare for difficulties, you just fortify yourself from the outside. You stock up your house with food, or you just try to take a more defensive position. Or in extreme cases, you act as if you were on the verge of war, and you remove yourself to some distant location far away in the country. You arm yourself, and you look at everything fearfully. But this is foolishness, For the inner preparation is more important than the outer preparation. For you do not know what you are preparing for yet. You cannot tell how things will go. And because you are ultimately here to serve humanity rather than to run away from humanity, you are really not engaging with the truth about your life if you simply try to build security for yourself. And any security you build for yourself will still be insecure in the face of the great waves of change. You cannot run away and hide under a rock. You are going to need others to help you. You are going to need to share your talents and your skills. You are going to need the talents and skills of others. You are going to need meaningful relationships, or you will not make it. Running away to some remote location is extremely foolish and extremely dangerous. That is why the inner preparation is essential. If you do not know how to read the signs of the world, you will not know what to do in changing circumstances. You will act out of fear or aggression, or you will trust things you should not trust, or you will give yourself over to others who will only lead you into greater danger, or give yourself over to political persuasions that in themselves are a hazard. If you cannot see and cannot know, you will not know what to do, and you will follow others who claim they know what to do, but who in most cases will lead you into greater danger. God has given you an answer. But you must come to know the answer, live with the answer and apply the answer without changing it, without denying it, without trying to unite it with other things. You must live with it in humility and patience, but with commitment and perseverance as well. If you fortify yourself and that is all that you do on the outside, others will come to take what you have. If you merely stockpile food and other necessities and that is all that you do, then others will come to take what you have. There is nowhere to run and hide, you see. And when you finally come to realize this, you will recognize you do not have an answer, and perhaps then and only then you will turn to knowledge. You will pray to God for guidance. You will pray to God for assistance. You will pray to God for deliverance. And perhaps you will have an open mind and realize that without real inner certainty, the certainty that knowledge can provide, you have no advantages. You have no security. You have no clarity and no certain direction. This ability to see, to know and to feel the movement of knowledge, to receive the instruction from knowledge within yourself and from the signs of the world, which will move you to take action or to reconsider your actions, your behaviors, your goals and your objectives. This is really the turning point. Today there are increasing numbers of people, many people who are worried about what might happen next. They are genuinely concerned, but they are not moving. They are not moving with knowledge. They are not preparing for the great waves of change. They are just concerned. What will it take to bring them to the point of really taking action, of altering the course of their lives, of changing their objectives? What will it take? If they can receive the instruction from knowledge and respond at that level, they will be able to prepare in advance for the great waves of change. They will have time to prepare and to make the sometimes difficult changes and adjustments that will be required to reposition themselves to gain a stronger position, to remove themselves from harm's way, to reduce their vulnerability and thus increase the possibility that they might be of service to others. But if they wait for the need for change to be overwhelming, it will be too late. Then everyone will panic. Like a herd of beasts in the fields, they will panic. They will run any which way. They will not act with any certainty or any reason. Their actions will be desperate. If you wait until the evidence is overwhelming, it will be too late for you to make any wise preparations. Then your position will be untenable. Then you will be in a position of extreme powerlessness and vulnerability,